Progressing well.
Yep.
Obviously, you can see him back behind us here. All the steps that we need to take, like he's knocking them out and moving in the right direction.
Do you think he's going to be able to play at all in the preseason, or have you ruled that out?
We're hopeful. We have not ruled it out. We're hopeful that he will. Like how these go, it's always tomorrow and how it responded to the day before. But we have not ruled him out from playing in the preseason game.
How about Dylan?
Dylan will probably be out for preseason. If things progress the way that they are now, something magical happens, maybe he comes back, but my assumption is he'll be out for preseason. Kevin practiced today, yeah.
How about Dean?
Dean did not practice today. He stepped on somebody's foot, so ankle thing as well.
You've been talking about guys getting into the paint and looking for driving kick opportunities. Is that something that you feel like has been natural, or is that something that you've had to urge the guys to do?
It's been natural. I think our group of guys who are penetrators have really good vision, and they've seen traffic a lot before. You think about like the Donovans and Dariuses and Caris, like people have shifted their defenses to keep them out of the paint, so they know where their outlets are on the backside. So I think for those guys it is natural. You think about some of the passes that Jetty's made cross court, Lamar made one, last night. So I think our guys have a pretty good idea of it, and it's coming easy to them. We just have to get the ball moving a little bit more to start those initial actions.
Darius mentioned that he was watching film of Donovan kind of Utah, stuff, to try to figure out just where he likes the ball, his spots. Is that something that he just, with the coaches, does his own, and how have you seen that translate?
I think, him and JJ, work extremely well together. They study together, but I think what it is, again, we talk about the willingness to make something work and a willingness to help somebody besides yourself. And, to take time to watch another guy so that you can help him, speaks to Darius's character and leadership because he understands the value of it. So I think it definitely helps. It gives him a better understanding of where he can put him and where he can deliver the ball to him, and then what the floor should look like around him when he does have the ball.
What examples do you see when you're watching these games of him trying to do that out there on the field?
I think it's the sets that he calls. Like we've given them freedom here in this preseason to kind of orchestrate, play a little freely, but then when needed, call sets, and he's calling sets to put the ball in his hands, in places that he likes it.
Is there an emphasis on better screening after watching last?
It was execution overall. Again, they picked their pressure up, and I don't think we executed well under pressure. So I think today was mostly about execution, even through and versus pressure.
And then when you talk about helping on corner threes, what do you tell these guys in terms of not over-helping?
Yeah, that is one of the things we try to take out of the game. But it was, to me, it was more about hesitation. What we got really good at last year is just over and over and over again making the extra effort to get to shooters, and I didn't think we did a great job of that last night.
You said good.
Sorry.
You're okay.
We saw last year, obviously, how Jared and Darius played off one another. How do you think Jared can play well with Donovan and those kind of players, how their skill sets fit together?
I think they fit well together. I think it's a similar combination to Darius. There's a different cadence and speed. So I think, our fives in particular, J.A., most of the time, has to figure out that speed that he plays at. Darius is more of a downhill guy. Donovan likes to use his size to hold guys off, so it's more of a patient role. So I think, him getting used to the cadence of the pick and roll. But, again, they're both going to draw a ton of attention. He just has to put himself in the right spot.
Does that allow you to do things a little bit differently on offense because you can use Darius and Donovan in different ways with Jared?
Yeah, it allows you to space differently. How you shift your offense while the pick and roll is happening. because of that different speed, you're allowed to do different things out of it for sure.
You said you wanted this to be a difficult camp and you wanted these guys to maybe experience a little adversity. I know it's preseason and through 2 games, there's been some ebbs and flows. Would you say that they've maybe experienced some of that adversity?
Yeah. Again, you throw the injuries in, the rotation stuff in, like how difficult and the conditioning stuff, all those things. I think they've seen it. I think they've weathered some better than others. But again, we are a work in progress. We're 2 preseason games in. With a pretty, new and interesting dynamic, and then mixing in the injuries. So we're working to where we want to go, but it's going to take us time.
And then with regards to the rotation, has Caris maybe emerged as maybe a front runner for that starting 3 position?
He's done a great job. So we'll keep going and we'll see.
Going back to the Utah thing, you're obviously not the Jazz. You have different personnel. How do you make sure that what you do with Donovan is you?
It's obviously most importantly, you stick true to the system. And we're not a call a play every single time down the floor team. So in that, it's like, how does the ball move? How do our bodies move? And how do we share the game? That's first and foremost. That's who we are. The Utah stuff is, hey, we want to call a set. Let's put him in a position where he's comfortable, right? But other than that, if you play basketball, and play it with no agenda, that's how we want to play, and I think he fits into that easily.
You would stress to us the importance of line game reps for guys, and you have 2 games left in the preseason. Are you considering playing all your key guys both against Atlanta and Orlando wrapping up?
We're still, again, figuring out injuries and things like that, but that will impact, what we do as well. If guys are able to come back, getting guys to play an opportunity with some of the other guys. If they're not, then maybe not. So we're still considering all those things. All right, appreciate it.